Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Need custom clothing for your next event? Up in Stitches has been serving since 2011. Call them at 641-842-2223 for your next event, or visit their website at upinstitches.com.
I think I found the best play I've seen in a long time.
Wait, is this the girl with one arm?
We did not bring her into this world the right way. She didn't come out the right way.
Let's call it what it was, an affair.
You have an incredible gift from God.
You think God is punishing you for what we did through our daughter's arm?
People already look at me differently. Why didn't God stop that?
I know lately it feels like you've been on a losing streak. Maybe all of us, huh?
You can't keep living your life like God is punishing you.
You carry so much burden on your shoulders that you clearly can't handle.
Look around and see how much God, He's blessed you.
God don't make mistakes. He's got a plan in all of this. He always does.
Hello, everybody. I'm here with Katelyn Pavey, the story behind the movie I Can. And I am super excited to have you on today. And I just want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy that you asked me to be on here. I'm excited.
Yeah. First, I want to ask you, one of the first things that stood out to me when the cast member Karen Iptrade, also known as the role of Grandma, says, God don't make mistakes. Is that something you still live by? If so, why is that?
Yes. So Karen Chan did play the role of my grandma. We call her Mimi, and that's her name in the movie. And she always told my dad when he was growing up, and especially when I was born, God doesn't make mistakes. So I was born with part of my left arm. It's called phocomelia. Just basically my left arm didn't fully develop in the womb, and it left me with a small hand and 2 digits. Well, a little background about the story is I was conceived out of wedlock due to an affair, and my parents thought that I was born with one arm because of their sin. And my grandma reassured my dad, God doesn't make mistakes. That's where it all happened. God doesn't make mistakes. He made her perfect just the way he wanted to in his image, and he has a plan for her, and he does not make mistakes in anybody's life. And I still live by that today. Yeah.
Right there, that's very powerful, Yeah. I can tell like your grandma was probably the one that stuck with like God and brought it to the family and everything like that. So.
She was the glue that held our family together, and we miss her dearly. But yes, she always loved when we go to church with her, and she was the one that helped introduce the Lord to me, and she was always my biggest supporter.
Well, that's awesome. So let's kind of then go to another cast member. Let's talk about Dana Brown for a little bit. Just her emotions and realism she puts in the movie about being different in school, leaving class early, etc. How was that like for her? Did she just pick it up and run with it? Or did you kind of have to work with her on how you felt in those moments?
So that's a great question because I actually tried out for the role for myself. And yeah, so funny story, I was in the car doing a Zoom call trying to play myself, and I guess I wasn't that great at acting. So they had Danner, thankfully, she she did acting in high school, and she's actually in college. That's what she's doing now. But she played the role of me, and I did all the. So anything that you see in the movie that is Danner, she plays all like the regular scenes. I play all the softball scenes. So if you're ever watching the softball movement, that's me. But I want to give a huge shout out to Danner because she jumped on the role and she never said no one time. She always said yes to everything, and she was always willing to do things. And she just had a positive attitude through it all. And I think she did a really, really good job capturing the moments and the emotions that I felt when like I hurt, especially when I hurt my knee and when my Mimi passed away, like in the movie. She played those phenomenal, and she just did a really good job. I did have to talk to her a little bit about like how I felt in the moment during certain scenes, like in real life, like how I felt, so that she could portray that through her acting. And I thought she did amazing.
You know, just her realism she put in there was just phenomenal. And I think that's why, number one, I connected with it real well, because it wasn't like just a normal movie, you know? And so, okay, so let's shift our focus to the off-screen Katelyn Pavey. I feel like this film has been successful in its own way because it resonates with a lot of people and stands out to not only Christians but non-Christians. If you agree, why do you think that is?
I think the movie relates not only to Christians but non-Christians as well, because one, it sets a scene in the beginning of my parents, like I mentioned before. They were going through adultery. They were married to different spouses, and they ended up having a kid together, and that kid was born with a limb difference, with a quote-unquote disability. I don't see myself having a disability, and I don't see other people that people say had disabilities a disability. We have different abilities. We're not. So that's what I see. But I think it shows people that, you know, what my parents went through, and then having a kid with one arm, and then raising a daughter with one arm, with the world, and how like kids can be mean. There's bullies. There's people that, you know, say things, and all the challenges that I had to go through, especially with the sport of softball. How can a girl with one arm go and play college softball and compete with girls with two? And it just showing the non-believers just if they're going through something, and then lean on this movie, they can see that they're not alone. One, and two, maybe they're inspired and they want to learn more about Christianity, and they want to learn more about God. And that was the whole purpose of the movie, was to help others, inspire others, but also to help others find and follow Jesus. So if they weren't a believer, they could see that, you know, like you said, the main theme, God doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't make a mistake in your life, and he has a plan for everybody.
Yeah, he does. And, you know, I myself, with the disability, you know, I can relate to a lot of that stuff. You know, kids can be mean, you know, even other parents with kids.
Parents especially. And it just comes down to like how you raise your children, and you teach them that it's okay to be different. And what I like to say is the only disability in life is a bad attitude.
I think the reason why I'm laughing at that is because I think some days I need to listen to that. So thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, then, if someone is listening to this and needs to be uplifted, what would you tell?
Kind of like the main thing that I've already said. You know, God has a plan for your life. And I never knew why I was born with one arm. I really didn't. And I came across the book in the Bible in John chapter 9, where Jesus and his disciples were walking, and they came across a man born blind. And his disciples asked Jesus, was this man born blind because of his parents' sins, or was he born blind because of his own sins? And Jesus says, neither. He was born this way so that the work of God could be displayed through his life. And I believe I was born this way, and other people were born the way they are, so that God could shine through them, and that we could show others what we're capable of, who he is, and all of our abilities that he's given us. And people that watch the movie, I just hope that, one, they're inspired, and two, if I can, then I hope that they can, and they would like to try and know that maybe if they like put their heart and their mind into it and they just try, you never know where it could lead you. And I also believe that God has a plan for everybody, and you may not know what that plan is right now, but if you learn to trust in him and you learn to just go with the flow and roll with it, you never know where you'll lead and what he has planned for you. So I just believe if you trust in the Lord and follow in his ways, that you'll become successful, and you in the end, you'll know what your true meaning is.
Again, I can relate to that too, because, God has opened so many doors, not just for you, but for me too. And so it's like, God will work in your life, but number one, you have to accept him. And number two, you have to let him.
Amen. And I'm glad you brought up the open door part. That was one of the other things in the movie that really stood out to us was God opened so many doors. He opened so many doors. And my dad was like, if God opens a door, you walk through it. You just walk through it and you trust in him. And I'm glad you brought that up, because you have to have total faith in him. And you just have to, the faith is the big part, is just to trust in him and have faith.
Pray and everything is just have faith, and that's all you need.
Yes.
So then let's talk about, then you kind of touched on this, but how did you first feel about the movie when it first got brought to your attention?
That's funny. So long story short, how the movie came about was my pastor, Tyler Sansom, who's also the director of the movie. He does some Bible study with my dad, and my dad helps him write sermons. So they've told each other's like their past and their stories. And so Tyler kind of knew a little bit about my dad's past and his story. And Tyler, ever since he was a kid, he's always wanted to make movies. He just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And he was like, what's not more cool than making a movie like out of a church to help other people? So we made movies in the past, and then he was like, I want to make another one. So he asked my dad, he's like, what if I made a movie about you and your family? And my dad was like, no. And my dad was like, there's no way that you're putting my past and my sins on a gigantic screen for everybody to see. I said no. And my dad actually told Tyler no 3 times. And Tyler came up again and was like, okay, just pray about it. And he said, we're going to do it. Just pray about it and just see what you think. And Tyler, after he said that, he proposed, he was like, well, if you can help inspire one person and if you can lead one person to Christ, would you do it? And my dad said, well, yeah, if I want to lead one person to Christ, absolutely. But he said, you're not just going to have to go through me. You're going to have to go through Katelyn. So Tyler came and asked me the same question. He was like, can I make a movie about you? And I said, no. And he was like, why not? And I said, well, one, yeah, I'm a girl with red hair and one arm and play softball, but, so what? Like, I didn't think that I had a story to share. And I really thought it wasn't fair to other people that had a story that needed to be told. And I also didn't want to be seen as sitting on a pedestal and just like people like, oh, you have a movie, look at you, blah, 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 blah. Like, I didn't want to be like, have all that attention on myself. I don't like a lot of attention on myself. And he was like, but if you can inspire one person and if you can help lead one person to Christ, would you do it? And I said, man, that's hard because yes, I would. If I can help one person find and follow Jesus and lead them to Christ, yes. So that's how we eventually came about making the movie. Was I nervous? Yes. I was really nervous because everybody that I knew, that I grew up with, or people that I just played softball against, like everybody's going to see my story, my family's story. And it's just hard to put yourself out there. But in the end, if you're helping others, then that's all that matters. And I just had to keep that in the back of my head that the movie's going to eventually help people. And that's what we wanted. And it actually happened on set, which was a cool thing. This actress that played my sister, Sydney, actually got baptized. And she said part of it was help because of the movie, that she felt so much love and she felt Christ around the movie set that she wanted to get baptized. So we already led that one person to Christ before the movie was even released. And I just thought it was cool. You know, the movie was, my church is on a back end street. My church is on a dead end street in a small town, and we make movies. And we made this movie on a church budget in 19 days.
Oh, wow.
So
that's very quick.
Crazy. So just having the support of, you know, the church and the community and just people helping us out really meant a lot. And I'm just happy that I finally said yes. And I'm just happy to know that the movie has helped people in a positive way.
Yeah, I mean, it really has. And I think it's probably one of the best Christian, you know, like Christian movies out there. Relatable. So let's go to your career that you do now, and let's talk about the NFCA. What it does not only for you, but for the athletes you guys serve.
Yep. So the NFCA stands for the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. We are located in Louisville, Kentucky. And what I do right now, currently, I'm still a full-time intern. I've been interning with the NFCA for 2 years after I played softball and after I graduated. And when I graduated, all I knew was softball, and all I wanted to do was softball. And luckily I found them. And as an organization, we serve softball coaches, fast pitch softball coaches from all levels, from youth all the way up to Division I. So we are a coaches organization, and we have camps. We have a big convention every year. We were just in Dallas, Texas in December, which was awesome, and we broke our membership record. So what we do is just we help coaches and we help grow the game of softball. And what the NFCA has done for me was really help me keep appreciating the sport, help me give back to the sport of softball, and it kept me in the game. And I'm just happy that I can help coaches grow and excel and just keep the game of softball going.
Cool. And you know, so you're like a media intern, right? So
yeah, so what I do a little bit of everything. So I do some of the membership side, I answer the phones, I do the social media, I run some of the social media, and I just help out with whatever my team members need. I'll help them do it. Grateful for the opportunity.
Good. Would I be able to ask, do you know where you're going from there? Or are you planning on staying with the NFCA for a little bit?
So my end goal would to be to work with the NFCA full time. And the reason why I love the NFCA is you're never going to find a group of people like them. I work with the best people. We have 11, including me, on staff. I have the greatest boss, Carol Bruggeman. She inspires me daily, and her leadership, I just inspire to be her. And I just think that NFCA, it allows me to be in softball. It allows me to help others, but it also lets me travel and speak like I am right now. So this job allows me to do these podcasts and to go share my story. So I'm really grateful for this, and I just hope that I can stay with it.
Yeah, they seem like a really wonderful company. So if there's anyone that's listening to this that would like to know what the NFC is all about, what is their website and social media?
The NFCA, our website is nfca.org. You can learn more about the NFCA at nfca.org. That's our website. And then we have social media. We have Instagram, we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, and we also have X or Twitter. And it's just NFCA.org. So if you just look up NFCA, it should pop up. And it's a logo of a girl pitching a softball.
And all these links that we will be talking about will be in the show notes as well. So anyone that's listening that would like to go and visit any of these links, which I highly encourage, they will be down in the show notes. So to close out, is there anything I did not touch on that you would like to discuss? To close out, is there anything I did not touch on that you would like to discuss?
Yeah. So where you can find the movie I Can, right now we are on Amazon. We are currently ranked in the top 10 Christian films on Amazon, which is pretty awesome. Go God. We are also on Tubi, streaming on Tubi. You can find the movie on YouTube. We're on Up Faith and Family, the Christian network. So you can find and stream the movie there. Also, let's see, we have I Can Movie is our Facebook page. And here coming up soon, my dad and I and my husband are going to start really getting onto the website, and we're going to start a podcast is our end goal, an I Can podcast. Not sure what we're going to name it yet, but we're going to start a podcast, and then we eventually want to write a book, which is neat. And I just want to say, like, with all the money that we made from I Can, my family and I did not get that money. That money went strictly to missions. So anything that was in theaters, anybody who buys the movie, that goes straight to missions. And from that, I wanted to do an I Can Foundation. So right now we have started an I Can Foundation, and we're raising scholarships, we're giving money, we're putting on camps, and we're doing things for individuals that have always been told that they can't. Kids with limb differences, kids with quote-unquote disabilities, kids maybe that they can't afford a pair of shoes to go to school. We'll give them money for a pair of shoes to go to school. So we're just trying to help people that need a little uplifting and need to know that, you know, they can and that God loves them. And so that's one thing that we're starting, and we're just really excited about it. So yeah, if you want to check out those streaming platforms and then our Facebook page, we're just going to be rolling with it. So we're excited.
And it sounds really amazing that it goes to kids that, you know, might not be able to get a new pair of shoes or, you know, be able to go to camp, you know, or something like that. So I commend you and your family for doing that. That's really cool. So you can get merchandise for the movie as well now. Where can you get that at?
Yeah, so if you go to icanmovie.info, that is our website where you can look for the merchandise, and also gives you a little bit of background about the movie. And it links, I believe it links the Facebook page to it as well.
And then are there any shout outs you would like to give?
Yeah, shout out to Dakota for allowing me to be on your podcast. This is awesome. And so sorry it took so long, but I'm happy to be here. Shout out to my parents. They've been a huge blessing to me in my life. Shout out to all my grandparents. I love all my family. Shout out to all my family. I can't name all of them. Especially shout out to both my sisters, Sydney and Mackenzie. They've always supported me through life. Shout out to my husband, Kevin. He's been my rock. And just shout out to, you know, the people who's watched the movie and the people who's supported me even way before the movie even happened. Just thank you all, and I love you all, and God bless you all.
Well, and, you know, I personally thank you that movie has had a tremendous impact on my life too as well. So thank you for that. I did ask you beforehand if you would close out with a Bible verse. And it sounds like you have a lot of Bible knowledge. So
a Bible verse that I chose for your podcast is a Bible verse that I wrote on my hat when I played softball. I wrote underneath my helmet, and I just lived by it. And it was John 16:33. And it says, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world." And what I took from that is, in this world you'll have struggles. You'll have adversity. You'll have obstacles. Life is not easy, but take heart. Don't worry. God has overcome the world. He sent his son Jesus to die for us, to die for our sins, to redeem us, and to love us. And we've already won. We already have the victory. because Jesus did that for us. And so that is my Bible verse.
All right, sounds good. I agree with that. Thank you. That's inspiring.
Thank you.
And thank you for again being on the podcast. And I really appreciate your time. And everyone, that was Katelyn Pavey. Until next time, we'll see you later.
Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com.
VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.